What's up, guys? Welcome back to the JP and Trav show on the JP and Trav YouTube channel. Also live from Travis's X. As always, it's your host with the most, JP. And to my right, I have my esteemed co-host, brother, and friend Travis J. Davison. Travis, how you feeling, brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. We got the contract today to extend our partnership with the Shrine Game. So getting that locked down, obviously, big deal for us. Much earlier than we did last year. So we're able to get a lot of legwork done on this end as far as getting all the data to all the players and whatnot. So good day for that. Did a little bit of radio. Had a good day of radio, but it had a couple takes on there that I don't think got the acceptance that I'm hoping for as I'll play them back here. So, anyways, how are you guys doing? I'm glad we got Jay coming. Obviously, got to see both of you two in Tennessee for the big win. Got to tailgate with both of you. Enjoyed breaking bread with Jay the evening before. So, yeah, man, just excited.
Yes. Welcome back, cousin Jay, again to the show, cousin of the show. At this point.
What's good?
Jay, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. No, yeah, as Travis mentioned, it was great seeing both of y'all in Knoxville, Tennessee. Got to see both of y'all out there. We got to hear Rocky Top nonstop. We got to see an amazing light show. I know we're going to talk about the experience there. The tailgate was fun. They were very hospitable. Got to see the ginormous human being known as Kane, just, prancing around and stuff. It was kind of, odd, but at the same time, I get it because he's a Tennessee guy, so it makes sense. It's always interesting when you go to enemy territory and you start to see people that you have heard of before that are quote unquote celebrities in some capacity. And it's weird to be able to actually interact with some of them because you forget that, those people are normal people. They're just humans. They just like to do regular people things. Some like to tailgate. Some like to go to games and, go on the sideline and lose their minds. You just don't realize it until okay, you are like me. We are, except for you like a lot richer, but you are like me. So I guess I can say I got an appreciation for the fact that we got to see the human side of some folks.
Yeah. Well, it was cool. Like Jay said, we all got to chop it up and meet each other. And, Trav walked into talking to a guy who had some family from Oklahoma. And, within that tailgate was the WWE superstar Kane, who's a mayor in Knox County. And, he's not quite 7 foot. He's probably about 6'7", 6'8", and everything like that. But you know what? If he told me that I was 7 foot, he was 7 foot tall, I'd say, yes, sir, you are. Because he's still as jacked as ever, could choke slam me and any of us out here. But man, they had some fried bologna, they had pulled chicken, pulled pork, bacon wrapped crab that I'm still thinking of. It was delicious. It was amazing. They were super hospitable. And yeah, we'll get it. We're about to actually just get into obviously the game in general, but all of our experiences of Neyland Stadium, because I'd like all of us to just recount what we saw, because we all saw different perspectives. I was in a certain section. I was in the parent section. Jay was in a different section, and Trav obviously was up in the press box and has his own stories to tell. So we'll dive into that here in a second. But TJ, our boy TJ was with us. Fans super hospitable even after the game as well. Each fan I interacted with said congratulations. 10 out of 10. Yes, highly suggest those you've never been to go. It was a great time. And with that being said, man, let's I guess just get right into it. Obviously, the Sooners went to Rocky Top and did something that only one other team has done since 2022, which is winning Neyland Stadium. Georgia's the only other team who's done that, and they've done it twice. But the Sooners did something that's hard to do in a season where it feels like every game is Brent Venable's legacy game and everything like that. And he went in there and got it done. And so before we really get into the breakdown of the game, because we have our clips provided by Sooner Gridiron, I would like both of you guys, and I'll close this up, just to recount, man, when we walked into Neyland Stadium, like what was the atmosphere, what was the vibes, and then what was just your view in and of yourself of the game. And Trav, we can start with you, man.
Yeah, I went to a press box one.
Yeah, I mean, it was super cool. It was, the food was good. Obviously, got to start, with the food. It was good. Wasn't elite press box food, but they did have the snacks. I'm still waiting for Georgia. I hear that's the best press box, but LSU so far has been very good. South Carolina with the shrimp and grits was fantastic. But you walk upstairs, and it was cool because I run into Greg Sankey. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna do a quick informal scrum here. And so all media got around and pulled out their recorders and all that. And I was like, I just took a picture of it and listened because I was like, look, there are 10 Oklahoma fans standing around or Oklahoma media standing around Greg Sankey, all recording him. I don't need to hear this 11 times. There's no need to do that. So anyway, I stood, check that out. It was cool because it's such a big game that everybody was there. I mean, big ESPN writers, obviously Kirk and Chris were there. And it was an amazing experience. For my money, it's the best atmosphere in college football. Like I don't know of one that would compare. 100,000 plus, the night, the light show, the fireworks, the tee being lit up, both the center field one with Johnny Knoxville that comes out and the one they run out of, the band wearing only just an orange light. It was electric. So I'm glad that Oklahoma was the better show on the field once the ball kicked off. But shout out Tennessee, shout out. I mean, the media members, Tennessee media members were incredibly hospitable. The admin, the SIDs, the tailgaters, shout out Chris Lane. Yeah, it's just, they're great people. I can't wait to go back. So other than that, yeah, just a great experience. Although, like, I did bump into Seth Luttrell, and then another guy was coming down, and as I'm getting my halftime meal, which is like hot dogs and whatever, I piled up slaw on top of the hot dog, and I caught a forearm shiver from one of the Tennessee guys, and slaw went on the floor. I look like the a-hole. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went and cleaned it up, but it was a lot of fun. I do have to share a story that we heard at the tailgate. So there was this kid that was a Kappa Sig at Tennessee. One of the pledges in the fraternity, his older brother is Colton Jumper. For those of you that don't remember Colton Jumper, he was a linebacker that played for Tennessee. And the little brother is, hey, my brother plays for Tennessee, and they've got Oklahoma coming up in 2015, right? Well, Colton Jumper missed 3 or 4 tackles on Baker Mayfield. And nobody knew who Baker Mayfield was in Tennessee at this point. So they got back to the house that night after the crushing loss to a walk-on and made Colton Jumper's little brother scrub all of the showers in the house with a toothbrush all night into the morning, while random brothers went up and started shouting at him that his brother let some walk-on come in and run all over the Tennessee defense and blow the game, all this kind of stuff. They said later, the guy said he's never felt worse in his life about anything because Baker Mayfield's Baker Mayfield. He's like, we had no idea Baker Mayfield would be a Heisman finalist that year. So it was so funny. Colton Jumper's little brother scrubbing showers with toothbrush because Baker Mayfield was stunting on him all night. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, no electricity fine here in the home office. Got my light plugged in here. So, but yeah, the experience was great. I want to go back for basketball. I want to go back for baseball, maybe even some softball games. The downtown campus is super cool. Beautiful new buildings. Neyland is incredible. I mean, right there on the river. They had a very cool downtown. We did great radio over there at Maple Hall, the bowling alley there. So, yeah it was awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, the experience itself was really dope. And that's actually pretty funny that the little brother got hazed because his brother was missing tackles on a walk on. They ended up being a Heisman Trophy winner. So yeah, that's always a good that's like a good villain origin story right there. I'm surprised he didn't turn into a super villain, turn into like Gru out here trying to destroy the world because of it. That's actually a really good origin story, and I would totally go watch that movie. But no, the experience was dope. I've been to Neyland a couple of times. This is my first time seeing dark mode. And being able to just see the way they did the lights and the opening of the T, and that's the only thing that was lit up when they opened it. I was like, yeah, that's fire. Everything, the presentation itself was awesome. The Tennessee fans we met were very, very hospitable. They were nice. They all kept offering food as I'm walking by. My stomach is just like full from eating at multiple spots, and then I'm getting more people asking. I'm getting hungry because I'm smelling it. I'm like, nope, don't do it. Don't stuff yourself too much because you got to go into the stadium and scream. You want to puke it all over the place. And so I got my fill, and everywhere I turned, people kept asking me, we're having a good time. Are you enjoying yourself here? And all of that over and over. So it was like, yeah, these are pretty dope. I see why Oklahoma fans and Tennessee fans have become like, it's like an alliance, I guess you could say. It feels like we just like each other in general. It was definitely, if there's a place to go, I tell everybody, hit up Neyland Stadium and hope that you can get it for a night game because it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I would. I mean, my sentiments exactly. It was my first time ever there, ever in Knoxville, ever at Neyland Stadium, University of Tennessee. And yeah, I mean, from the time we got there, like campus was beautiful. We didn't get to really walk around the campus that much, but like getting to Neyland, was dope. I mean, we got to meet up with Trav almost within 5 minutes of us, getting dropped off by the stadium. So it was pretty quick, and tailgating scene was cool. And crazy enough, they were like, somebody told me like, yeah, this is like light for what's normal. And I was like, is it? Like, there's a lot of people out here. They're like, yeah, no, there's seas of people. And, I'm sure people do different things, but the bridge, I know you guys remember the bridge that's like, facing outside of Neyland Stadium going towards, kind of downtown Knoxville, and also the rest of the university was dope, because when they did the walk, they had people, not hanging off the bridge, but, just looking down off of that bridge, obviously on the backside of Neyland Stadium, and, the kind of ramps, people were hanging, like looking down from the ramps. And so there's a lot of people in that area that were concentrated. And that was pretty cool, just to experience that. And then like, yeah, when we go into the stadium, like I remember walking in and just being like, this is huge. This place is gigantic. Like me and Jay walked in with our buddy TJ, and I was just like, this is crazy. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like once we get to game time. And then yeah, game time got around, and
Yeah.
it filled up quick, and it got rowdy, loud. Like you guys said, the atmosphere was absolutely electric, and I don't feel like it looked great on TV. Like even watching it back, it looked great on TV. But even that, it felt like TV obviously doesn't even do it justice of just like how loud it was, how intense it was. And yeah, they do a great job, and for those of you, I know there was a rumor going around because Mr. Boganowski, who I was not 4 seats from, was kind of talking about how they had speakers in there. The speakers was for the band, like it helped everybody in the stadium hear the band clearly. But I do want to be candid that like the speakers did get cut off once like the game started, like, and all the noise was completely organic from the crowd. That like it was that loud in there.
Yep.
So it was crazy.
To even add to that, and then I know his point really was that you could hear the band through those speakers. Like the band was far, and that stadium's not small. And I know that band is loud. I was in Norman when Tennessee came to town, so I know the band can put out. But no, the band was going through the speakers too. You could hear them crystal clear. There's no faintness to anything on it. But after that, you could hear the organic loudness inside of there. So yeah, and I think that was just something that just wasn't, I guess, conveyed. People just didn't want to hear it. Some Tennessee fans didn't want to hear it. They were pretty upset about just the outcome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was loud. It was really legitimately loud.
Yeah.
Well, and I think I come back from every road game I go to, saying the same thing, and I've been to every road game for the last 3 years or something like that. So I say this: if you can afford to, if it's convenient for you, if you got to save up to even just do it once a year, go to a road game, please.
Yeah.
You will learn that these fan bases, for the most part, all of them that I've come across, they're full of really cool people that are just college football fans and that want to be hospitable. Obviously, we're talking about Tennessee and hospitable they were, but I had the same experience in South Carolina. I did my radio show from the South Carolina tailgate afterwards. I mean, if Temple fans were there, I'm sure they would have been hospitable. But we felt, tailgated with Mizzou fans a year ago, tailgated with LSU, and tailgate, the people are nice. Sometimes we get wrapped up in this world of the Twitter representation is, that fan base. OU's got a lot of douchebags in their fan base on Twitter. So it's like every fan base has these, and they don't, if they're like that in real life, I don't see them anywhere. Or maybe the people that are, smiling and shaking my hand and offering me food are really, got an alter ego behind their burner. But many of these, many of these people, don't let the worst losers of every fan base on Twitter paint the picture of what you're going to encounter on road games. Because, like I said, I've been all over the country for them, from Provo to Philly to Baton Rouge to wherever, to Lawrence, and all over the place. And you're treated well at these places because they're fans just like you. And so, anyways, just keep that perspective. Try and get to a road game. I promise you it will shape or at least influence your perspective on college football fan bases.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great time. They're hospitable, but unfortunately, our football team was not hospitable to them, as the Sooners go into what, like you said, Trav, some would consider one of, if not the most menacing environments in all college football. Like, some people may put Death Valley and LSU up there at night. They may put that up there, and I haven't been there. You have, Trav, so you have to tell me, what you feel like is the difference between the two. But regardless, at the very least, top three at night experiences and places to play, especially recently, and they got it done. Early on, obviously, we see, let's just all be honest, okay? And Jay and I saw from the field level. Trav, I don't know if you happened to be paying attention at that time, but the first pass interference call on Cortland was absolute BS. Absolute BS, and set up their touchdown drive. Like, could we have stopped him? Yeah, sure, right. But we basically did. We really did. And it was frustrating to see a game get off to that start. But what was y'all's views on that penalty flag?
For me, it was. I thought it maybe was defensive holding. Maybe the way he got where his arms were on him, you might have been able to get away with it. But the tight end runs down the field immediately into him, and he's like blocking. It looks like, and the ball goes 15 yards over his head. I could see by the letter of the law how you might be able to say, well, you grabbed him. Once you grab jersey, it's defensive holding. But I don't think the tight end even thought that he was going to get a call on it. So obviously it extends the drive, but that play was like, okay, yeah, we can't give this offense extra possessions or extra, second lives and this kind of thing. But I was enthused because we forced a fumble on like the first or second play of the game, and then it's 3rd and 15, and they try and go over the top and way overthrow it and then get bailed out by a penalty. I'm like, okay, the defense is going to get theirs. Like, they're getting to him, they're getting pressure. Like, we're going to be in fine shape. So that one, it is what it is. But Oklahoma was able to overcome it.
Yeah, it was a pretty ridiculous call when just you get the stop, and then of course the possession continues. I think that's the thing. One of the things that just piss you off. You keep, and it's a lot of those situations too that, truth be told, is really not on the players. Like the one against, what was it, Ole Miss, and who was that, Stone basically was swatting at the pass. Actually, this happened in this game too. You swat at a pass, and they call it on you for roughing the passer or whatnot. When you look at the video of the offensive lineman literally pushing the defensive lineman into the quarterback's direction because they missed on the block. So they're just going to keep the momentum going, right? And what do? I mean, it's smart on the offensive lineman to take advantage of that and leverage your weight and push you under their quarterback, which could hurt their quarterback, while at the same time is probably going to end up in a penalty because they know that the linemen are not trying to hit. The D linemen are not trying to hit the quarterback when they know the pass is going out. They're trying to deflect the pass itself, or at least alter it. And just the refs not seeing that, not having even the situational awareness to recognize that, he wasn't trying to do that. He was literally cuffed up underneath here by a lineman while he's doing this. Like, can we use our brain in that capacity? Can we get some adjustments made in the officiating in that part? That's probably the one thing that just wore me smooth out. It's like you gotta give some of these players grace when you can tell that they're not even trying. They're going for the pass. You're gonna occasionally hit a shoulder. Now, if you're purposely slapping somebody in the face, man, sure, that's definitely not a valid attempt at a pass. But if you tell they're going at the arm, come on, man, let's be for real. But at the same time, the funny thing about that is we don't get those calls.
Yeah.
Which is why I always say, do not let the refs alter your success. Don't let them get in the way of it, because they're going to give you some BS on a consistent basis that you can't control. So always control your controllables.
Well, and of course, Tennessee, while Oklahoma did have one first down that they gained off of a Tennessee penalty, Tennessee gained 5 first downs off Oklahoma penalties.
Crazy.
That is crazy. You can't do that to an offense like Tennessee. Lucky you didn't end up getting them beat. But 5 first downs by penalty for the Tennessee Volunteers. That's they can't do that against Bama. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and I'm gonna answer that question for you because I want to get to that. But yeah, so Tennessee goes down and scores, and so we're like, okay, here we go, and then we, get a first down on offense and then stall out, punt it, and then they get right back dang near in our red zone again, and it kind of feels eerie at that point. You're like, man, they go up 14-0, what's going to happen? And then Owen Heineke, right here, lined up on the edge right here, there front, man. I think, David Sanders is communicating whatever. He misses him completely, and Owen just lights this boy up. I mean, lights Joey up. Defensive player of the week, by the way, in the SEC, mind you. Owen Heineke.
Mind you. Yeah.
Lights him up, boom, and then like the perfect bounce that had to happen here.
You're being blocked. It's not that he got caught and tackled. He's being blocked. The tight end has the assignment to block R. Mason Thomas. So he's thinking, all right, I got to hold on to this block. And this it's good blocking.
Yeah.
And
do what he's supposed to do.
Do it. Look at that bend. He's good. And then R. Mason's like, I'm going to go get a ball. Hold on. No, you can stay with me. I got to grab this ball. And then picks it up. And the guy's like, wait, I'm still, and he's still holding the inside of his shoulder pad where he was holding on the block a little bit. And R. Mason just bullies him off. Just what a play.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. It's almost dang near as impressive to me as him holding a guy for dang near 40 yards.
25, yeah. They're calling it the stiff 6.
The stiff 6, yeah. It's almost as impressive to me, guys, that he scooped up this ball while being held one-handed.
No, it's crazy.
He was being held the whole time. And hey, look, I said this when I was talking about it post game. Shout out to Tennessee. I know a lot of their fans are pretty pissed off about this because it's not aesthetically pleasing, but wearing white gloves in dark mode, does not just look good on the eye. But that mess is genius when you're playing an opponent wearing white because the refs do not see you holding on to their jersey. They just see white on white. Smart. Because they don't even have orange on those white gloves. They're just white gloves. So look at that. Look at that. You can't see his right arm holding R. Mason Thomas, the back of the jersey. You can't tell he's pulling it, even though we can tell he's pulling it because now it's paused. But you can't tell in real time because that glove blends in with that white jersey. Freaking smart, man. We better wear crimson. I know that. We better wear crimson because obviously SEC refs are blind.
It hasn't helped us get holding calls either way. But and then R. Mason almost steps out there. Some would say maybe they thought he did, but obviously, he unfortunately pulls up.
Sammy's like, I got you, big fella. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Let's get in here. And Philip asked a good question. Where do you guys think this ranks all-time defensive plays? You'll probably think about it, but it's probably top 5 for sure. I mean, at least in recent memory for sure. It's got to be up there in Sooners lore. Just with how big this game, I mean, is it national championship implications necessarily? No. SEC championship implications? No. But you think of like, if we lose this game, people are already trying to jump down Brent's throat because of Ole Miss. We lose this game, we go down 14-0, the chances of us winning are pretty slim. Especially in Rocky Top. And so this play, I mean, the way it changed the game, I think in and of itself puts it up there.
Yeah, they're driving again. They're going to score. And to your point, like you said, it's I mean, this game for Brent's job, like they're well within field goal range. And Brent's job when he picked this ball, when he crossed the goal line, Brent's job became like 4% safer. Like just on the if you were just to track what this play did, like on win probability, if we had hot seat probabilities, that play probably made it 4 or 5% more likely that Brent keeps his job. So I think it's up there. I think Kip 6 against Auburn last year was up there because of what it meant for Oklahoma to win their first road SEC game. But yeah, this is just wildly impressive.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just bananas that they was able to, like you said, pull that off while the entire time being held to get to the perfect bounce. It was meant to be because the bounce was literally perfect and he just landed right into the arm. It's got to be a top 5 up there. It's definitely I'd give it top 5 just because of how the sequence went down. I mean, it's got some challengers, right? The one-armed interception by Graham is probably number 1 on majority of people's list because that's still one of the most absurd scoop interceptions I've ever seen in my life. Hell, that was play of the year when we played Nebraska. So there's some challengers on that, but that's definitely up there. I mean, I'm trying to think. What was it, the LSU game when he caused the fumble that G-Baby picked up for the touchdown? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just the fact that he rumbled it all the way to there, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
This adds to that DJ Graham and the Roy Williams Superman dive interception touchdown. It adds to the lore of Oklahoma. It's a long list of them, but that definitely adds to that.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I guys, I want to talk about this too, and we'll bring up kind of next big play in the game, in my opinion. Danny Okoye's sack. Obviously, we're tied. Our Mason's hurt. Once again, they're driving. They got a lot of yards. I mean, we were outgained 200 and
255 to 99
in the first half. So like this is what it was. They got down to the red zone basically 3 straight possessions, and so I wanted to pull up B-Man's not this one, sorry. Earlier he said, were the holds on offense as obvious in the stands as it was on TV? Yes.
Oh yeah. You saw white jerseys pulled. You just couldn't tell. The uninitiated eye would miss it. Listen. Again, the refs are blind, so they weren't seeing anything purposely. But to your point, though, JP, the fact that your leader on the defensive line comes out and the entire edge room doesn't miss a beat, Bravo, Miguel Chavis.
You-
Because I know so many people on the interwebs wanted that man fired the last couple of years because he was
Sure
building
did.
this.
Sure did.
And a lot of us was saying him and Bates needed some time because you don't just walk out and get D linemen on a conveyor belt and they instantly dominate without having dudes right behind them, right? Like
Yeah.
you got to have you got to have a full-fledged conveyor belt system of dudes being able to roll in and then roll back out constantly. You can't just have one group and think you're going to be successful. So it takes time to build them, get to them, not only get them to the right size, because if any of you ever worked out or anything, which I know you both have, and more so talking to the audience, it takes time to build muscle and then be able to still function like you normally do with when you add that additional weight. It takes time. These dudes move like they're still 270. They still move like they're 260. That's what's so impressive about how they play, and losing R. Mason and then him walking in like this. And you got Daniel Koye, which we knew he was a freak. You just wanted to get healthy. We didn't miss a beat on the D line. That is impressive. I just applaud them for being able to give us this. I mean, we should be happy. I'm getting emotional thinking about it, dog. We're here. Like we're here, guys. We talked about this when BB came, that man, we would love to get some of those Clemson like defensive line play. Like some of that Clemson push people around, muscle them defensive line. We said that we wanted this, dog, and it's here.
Yep. Indeed. So Danny makes an incredible move.
That swim was wild.
On the inside, and Brent has them lined up.
Jaden Jackson's on the edge.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm sure it's got them all types of confused. And this is what Brent does. So, it's hard to ask a guard in the center to deal with an athlete like Danny Okoye.
The fear that you see in that guard right there of, okay, we got to double Jaden Jackson's big butt. And then Danny flies by him. He's like, okay, I got to chip him. If I don't chip him, we're screwed. And it didn't work.
And the center throws him right into the quarterback.
Right into him.
And then he flings around and crashes into David Sanders Jr.'s the right guard, crashes into his the back of his knees, and he kind of has to come out for the game. That's the thing that people didn't see, was watching Danny smoke their lineman's knees. I mean, complete by accident. It's a clean play. But he swings around and then boom. Ooh. Yeah, and that's why they had to help him off the field.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So crazy. Crazy.
Jackson, maybe the MVP of the line. He controls both. Yeah, I mean, and it won't show up on stat sheets. What Jaden Jackson does, what Dominic Williams does, a lot of that's not going to show up on stat sheets. But they've been great all year. And funny story. Well, not funny, but going back to the holding piece. I think it's in the third quarter or something like that. Obviously, I'm sitting with the family section because Grayson, you guys know that me and Grayson are cool. Got me tickets, and I'm sitting with his dad, man. Literally, like Grayson's forearm. I know we talked about the jerseys, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Grayson gets past this dude. I mean, the dude is literally grabbing his forearm for dear life as Grayson is trying to get to Joey. Literally. And we're all like, "Yo, are you okay? Like, are you blind? Like, you can't see the dude literally grabbing, like Grayson's like this, and the guy's got a full on grab of his forearm. I just think it's crazy how we have one of the best defensive lines, if not some would say the best in the nation, definitely the best in the SEC, and we can't get holding calls on other offensive lines for the life. Like, I think there's been 5 holding calls in total in SEC play in total. That's nuts. It's insane.
It's bananas.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Continuing. The next big play in the game was, of course, Peyton Bowen, who, this being his first career interception is crazy. It just doesn't feel like this should be. He's had other opportunities, obviously, but this was a gigantic play in the game.
That's why in the hype video you heard him saying, like, I caught that one, like, or I finally caught one. Like, he knows he's had a lot of opportunities and just been dropping them.
Yeah.
But again, this caused, by the pressure in his face, and they had talked about it. He said it in a post-game presser. He said, "Look, they fooled me. I thought it was cover one. They
I can see why.
They pulled
Yeah,
one
makes
down,
sense.
dropped, and then brought him over, and just never saw him. He sees this safety. He doesn't see this. He doesn't see Bowen roll over there, and it's barbecue chicken after that.
Yeah.
What hurt him? Who was that in the middle? Was that Boganowski? Right
Yeah.
there in the middle of the field.
Yep.
That starts backpedaling right there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the guy he probably should have tried to hit, going on the drag route deep, because I don't think Boganowski would have caught him on that deep right if he was just throwing it there and let him run underneath it. But like I said, he didn't see Bowen right there ready for it.
The Bowen brothers too. That's pretty cool.
Bowen Brothers Incorporated.
Yeah. It's pretty dope.
Even better that it's both of them together, right? I think that was probably the best part. Is both of them.
That's what I was telling some Tennessee fans that were like, certainly obviously the punt to RSJ, which was just dumb, on Joey's part was bad. This one, I don't think it's like should Joey theoretically have made a throw? No, but this one I think you chalk up more to Brent Venables disguising well and Peyton Bowen doing what he's supposed to do as a safety, because Joey doesn't see him. Right? It's not like he's purposely throwing in double coverage. It's a terrible ball. He's throwing what he thinks is going to be, close to a touchdown. This guy's running this post. And Peyton does a great job having range, getting over there, snags it out of the air finally. And
then gets upfield immediately.
And then gets upfield and gets from where did he intercept that thing at?
Like the one. He was running along the baseline.
About around 5.
No, yeah, it carries him down to the goal line.
Yeah, carries him down to the goal line. He returns this thing. About the
basically
40?
Field goal range. Everything's field goal range past 30.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got to talk about tape. But yeah.
But again, pressure in his face. Jaden Jackson whips his guy.
Yep.
Whew. Jackson's about to level him too.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing. That was Gabe and Teddy had mentioned it. I was talking to my guy over on Locked on Vols. He kind of mentioned it, that Aguilar's a dude that he has a slow wind up. He has a fast release, but he knows where he's going to throw it. That's where the ball's going. So if you can figure that out, now it's hard to do that in a hypo system with the way the Veers shoot is and it spreads everybody out so much. But if you know where he's going, that's where. And honestly, that's kind of what Lane Kiffin was trying to explain to folks that everybody kind of took as him saying that BV will steal quote unquote signs, even though BV's been accused of that since his Clemson days, actually his Oklahoma days too. It's more of a BV catches your tendencies. And when he recognizes because we're creatures of habit, all of us are. You have certain routines you will continue to do over and over in some capacity. You may not realize it, but you'll do it. And at a certain point, even when you make adjustments to add new things, you slowly still regress back to your mean of who you are as a person. And so BV, with the way that he watches film and the way that the staff watches film, they catch a lot of that stuff. They catch that's why you notice in the first half, in the first few drives, Tennessee was boom, 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 boom. Then all of a sudden it started slowing down. Then all of a sudden if they couldn't like second half, they were 1 for 5 on third down. There was only one play that they actually converted a third down, and that was the long touchdown when we didn't wrap up, and we had them to go into a fourth down. Guillory and them wrap up. They get a good grip of that jersey and pull them down. They don't convert a third down the rest of the game. Like they would be 0 for 5 instead of 1 for 5. But you notice as the game progressed, as it slowed down, Heupel started getting back into the plays that he liked, the plays he want to do. Then when they throw a wrinkle in there that they know that they probably shouldn't and they try it, I still think it's a great play. You probably I'm gonna let you get to this one, but I love this play so much because I forgot who pointed. I think it was Alex King pointed this out, or Keegan, one of the two. Mm-hmm. But Taylor Wine comes off the line and he basically disrupted that tight end that ain't caught no passes all season, really. Mm-hmm. He disrupted his route to the point to where his timing was off. And by the time he turned around, the ball hits him in the back of the head. If he had his timing perfectly, if Wine didn't knock him off of his route, that was a first down easy. But because we disrupted it, so that's one of those wrinkles he had to throw in to try to change things, to try to get, try to switch things up. Team couldn't handle it. They're used to going back to a specific setup. We just disrupted their rhythm, and knowing tendencies and understanding that, man, that's what makes you great. That's why BV's considered one of the best in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So we go into, as Trav mentioned, and should have probably found a way to clip some of these kicks, but Tate, titanium leg Sandell, obviously hits a 55-yarder and a 51-yarder, or was it the 40-yarder that happened anyways, all three in the first half. We go up 16-10, and then we come out of halftime with the ball, can't get a drive sustained. Tennessee goes down and scores because we don't wrap up, unfortunately. One of the probably worst defensive play of the game. And they're up 17-16. And so now we're driving again, hoping that, John Mateer can figure it out. He still hasn't looked himself. But I don't know if this is the play. Maybe if he continues to go on this trajectory, we can all look back at this play and say, hey, this is when John turned back into John of old, like the first 4 weeks. Because it's 3rd and 16, and you're thinking, okay, here we go again. And John says, you know what? I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to be physical. I'm going to get, 25 yards it looks like on this run here. And, he doesn't play around the pocket. He gets upfield quick, and it feels like he's been too shifty in the pocket lately, and he was just decisive.
That was definitely a QB draw. And you could tell because
everybody runs
X
deep routes.
Immediately went to blocking.
Let me see.
Well, and also everybody runs deep routes. Like it's all clear out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're right.
X never turned to even look for the ball. That was a QB draw. And this, to me, that's been one of our biggest problems since, I guess you could say, we may as well point it out, because BV mentioned it on Sunday, that Mateer's been dealing with a knee deal. So I think he sprained his knee against Michigan, and he aggravated against Auburn. And so he's been slowed up from the trusting of that knee. And that at the second half, I think he gave it a try and was like, oh, shoot, I feel good. I can do this. Or they gave him a shot, one of the two. But he felt good about that knee and said, I'm going to go ahead and start running. But, yeah, that was a draw. And that has been the problems with our draw is they've been running too early. Like, a draw is supposed to look like a pass. And just like you said, Trav, everybody's clearing out deep. So you're supposed to look like you're going to pass it, and then you're supposed to run. That way, the linebackers start turning around. But then X run up there and get that really good block to slow that linebacker down. He's booking it. And I just sent you all of Tate Sandell's kicks in a DM real quick as well, JP. Yeah, the Cole's kicker account put all 4 of them in one, which was awesome. So, yeah, we can give Titanium Leg some love.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this is just a huge play for Oklahoma, for the offense in the second half, because really that's when we started to it feels like figure things out offensively in the second half, and yeah, I was super impressed with John Mateer, and we'll point out this quick video of his. Or this quick video I have of another thing that he did in the second half, and then we'll get to titanium leg Tate. But this was also a big throw, I think, in the game.
Best one.
I think showed maybe John's hopefully getting back, because again, we've had guys on here, right? Trav and Jay, you guys can back me up on this. That like they say that John's never been able to really throw the football. And while I wouldn't say he's the most polished passer, like Healthy John, like before Auburn, was leading the SEC in passing yards. And so I think it's ridiculous to say that he's never been able to pass the football, or that he can't make layered throws, or hasn't been able to make tight window throws, because that's just objectively false. We just haven't seen it since the injury. And so we saw it, I think, the one rail route against South Carolina, that was a touchdown, and this is kind of a similar thing.
That wheel route was perfect. Look at that blocking, though. The protection, to me, was probably the most impressive part about that play, outside of John Mateer getting the ball into that tight window, layering the pass. Look at EPL switch on a stunt. That is some amazing technique. He was ready for it. He's growing up in front of us, y'all.
It looks like we somehow are.
Well, we played the sound to start this one. We just have to.
Was there sound?
There's sound on this one.
I didn't hear it. Dang.
Yeah, so I hit mute. We'll come back. That's fine. One of the things I want to talk about. So everybody's like, all right, John Mateer needs to throw the deep ball, push the ball downfield. Oklahoma's passing game. Okay, so this is the longest play of the game. Oklahoma only had one pass play longer than 15 yards. Now, how many first downs do you think we picked up by passing? If we only had one pass play over 15 yards, how many first downs did we pick up by passing the ball?
Three or four?
Jay?
Dang, that's a good question. If I say 5.
12.
Shut up. Really?
So Oklahoma had 12 passing first downs, 6 rushing first downs, and they're rushing big plays. They had 5 rushing big plays. So you had your 22-yard run from Mateer. You had your 21-yard run from Mateer. You had a 10-yard run. Of course, explosive runs are 10-plus yards. And then you had your 2 from Xavier Robinson, the 43-yarder that he kneeled at the 1, and then his 14-yarder that he fumbled, actually. So,
yep.
Anyways, so we were able to pick up, like, it just goes to show it's a possession approach. It's an
first downs. That's crazy.
Yep. 12 of our 19 first downs. We had 6 rushing and then one penalty one. So we're back on YouTube. So anyways, like our passing offense, it doesn't need to be explosive. It needs to move the chains. And you can have situations where he layers balls in like this that look good, that go for deep routes. But what they're doing is possession. Let's move the sticks. Let's run the ball. Let's keep Tennessee's offense off the field as much as we can and lengthen these drives. So that's what they did, and I expect them to do that against Alabama as well.
Yeah, 100% agree. And John's been, I think he's building his confidence, which is it's good to see that he's coming back to that. Now, really quick, let's get to these Chase Sandell kicks, and then we got two more videos to get through, and then we're gonna spend a few minutes just talking about the rankings from yesterday. But here we go. Chase Sandell.
Sure, the sound is off.
The sound is off. I have made sure. The greatest kicking performance in Oklahoma football history, unequivocally. 55 yards. I mean, just to see the demoralization of Vols fans. Like this one was like, oh wow, that boy can kick. Like it was, first one was like, okay, I feel you. Then 51 yards, he gets that through, and they're like, man, like, what's this kid doing? The 40-yard one was basically automatic, like you knew that was going in. But this one right here, y'all, this last one, this basically sealed the game. Going up 2 possessions. And for that to be the 55-yarder to happen then, and for it to go through even barely the way it did, was the most demoralizing thing I think I've seen from a fan base. Like, I saw Tennessee fans just...
I had so many people just quit. They're like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I quit. Like, I've never seen, like, all the Tennessee fans around me were just like, does he make field goals like this all the time? I was like, well, technically, he's only missed one this season. That was against Michigan. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and read all of the records per Mike Hauk. Read all of the records that
He broke.
well, just all the things that made that performance memorable. Okay. He set the FBS single game record for longest average field goal make distance, minimum 4 conversions. He averaged 50.3 yards per make, breaking the previous record of 49.5 yards set in 1982. 18 for 19 on field goal attempts this season, which leads the SEC at 95%. He's made 18 straight field goal tries, tied for the longest streak in OU history. Has made an OU single season record 12 field goals of 40-plus yards. Previous record was 9. He made a school career record 4 field goals of 55-plus yards, all within the last 5 games. He's made a school single season record 6 field goals of 50-plus yards. He's 6 for 6. He's 8 for 8 on field goal tries of 45-plus yards. He tied a school single game record at Tennessee with his 4 field goals. He tied the Neyland Stadium record for longest field goal, 55 yards twice. First FBS kicker since 2021 to make 3 50-plus yard field goals in a game, which ties the FBS record. He's the first FBS kicker since 2011 to make 2 55-plus yard field goals in a road game, and he's 26 for 26 on PAT attempts.
Wow.
Absurdity.
That's
crazy.
That is nuts. And I mean, I was talking we talking to somebody about it after the game. We've had great kickers historically here. Like Austin Seibert got drafted. Obviously, Gabe Burkett's he fizzled out, but
get the burrito.
We had another kicker that was with the Saints for forever. Honeycutt was one of the best kickers in the NCAA before we had Seibert. Y'all remember? I mean, we've had a history of great kickers, and Tate may go down as the best
one. Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's kind of nuts if you really think about it. Really, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Just can't waste him.
Cannot. Okay, let's get to. I want to talk about Xavier Robinson, and then for whatever reason, it looks like we're off on YouTube as well. Even though it must be YouTube and Disney. I don't know, because we've been doing this for 5 weeks, no sound, had no issues.
Oh, we're back.
I remember when Tate missed a field goal against Michigan of over 40 yards, and OU Twitter wanted to bench him or cut him.
We need to get a new kicker.
I said this when we picked him up in the portal after seeing that he missed only 1 kick under 40 yards at UTSA. And of course, the biggest thing that, the haters said, oh, he's at UTSA. I mean, kicking is kicking, guys. Let's be real. But secondly, they're like, well, it was mostly in domes. He wasn't the one outside. Look, you need a dude that has the confidence to be automatic in those short spots. Because in the SEC, most of these games are going to be close. You're not going to have very many 24-7s like we did South Carolina, especially with the gauntlet we had in front of us. That was, we were reminding of being a gauntlet.
Yeah.
You have to. It's going to be tough. So you're going to need someone that's going to be clutch like that. And that was the one thing I harped on heavily was enjoy. I think this dude's going to be able to be consistent enough to save us in games that we weren't going to be that we were going to need saving in. And here you go. Him hitting 4 field goals with 3 of them being over 50 in a hostile environment. And they tried to ice him on one of them.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. We're done with the highlights because we keep on getting kicked off.
Yeah, we keep getting kicked off. So
sorry, guys.
Xavier Robinson had a great game. Obviously, 115 yards. You can go look at the highlights yourself. We gonna figure it out what's going on, because, like I said, this is not something that has happened the last 5 weeks that we've done this, 5-6 weeks, because we figured out it was the sound. And for whatever reason tonight, it is not working. And I to me, it's probably because YouTube and Disney can't figure their stuff out. So Disney probably don't even want anything going on. Mr. McIntosh, who normally does highlight videos, can't even get his highlight video up that he's done for literally 7 years and never had an issue, never gotten blocked, but this week he got blocked. So that's my suspicion. Regardless, X-Rob gets it done. Obviously, that last what y'all think of him dropping at the 1? Did y'all think he should have just scored?
Well, I think he should have dropped at the 1, and then we just should have kneed the ball out the rest of the time and wasted all their stuff. Like, I don't understand kneeing that ball and then just taking it in on the next. Like, you wasted 3 seconds. Like, what are you doing? The whole point to dropping at the 1 is
to burn the clock.
You burn clock. There was a minute 44 left, so you're on the correct side of the 2-minute timeout. So minute 44 left. They have 1 timeout left. You have first and goal at the 1. And a lead, and it's a 40-second play clock. Like, what are you doing scoring? Like, I get that you want to be hey, we got to score over 30 in an SEC game, but maybe it's playoff time, playoff poll time, and we need the style points. But at the same time, like, stuff like that, like, that's got to be fixed. Like, calling an RPO late and even giving John the option to throw the ball there. Like, that kind of stuff didn't cost Oklahoma, but they got to do the easy stuff. Yep. They got to do the easy stuff that teams do to win. I mean, feel great about the win for sure, but they made it way more difficult by on their own. Like, on their own, not kneeing the ball out there and then, having an RPO right there, which that's 100% on Ben. I don't put that on John. Like,
yeah, I don't blame John at all for that, because he's been coached and ingrained in his brain that you see the safety do this, you do this. You see this linebacker do this, you do that, and it's always that. I mean, if Jermichael catches the pass, we're not even having this conversation, right? It's man, that was a genius play. They weren't expecting it. We got the first down. So it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. Cool, what else? But to that point, yes, him falling at the 1 was smart. Trav, you're 100% correct. They should have kneeled it on first, second, and third down. Tennessee's going to let you score. They need the ball back so they could try. But if you burn the clock down to, like I said, 40 seconds roughly,
regardless,
that in and get the touchdown.
You don't score on first down. Like, no, that's what you don't do. At a minimum, you make them burn their timeouts.
Make them burn those 2 timeouts, because third down, they would have had no timeouts.
Yep.
You could have kneeled it at third, and it had been going into fourth down, and you could have burned that clock down to 20 seconds, hand the ball off, run in, get the touchdown, and win by 9 points instead.
Yeah. I was sitting right directly behind Major Melson's dad, who's he's a former ball coach. He was losing his mind half the game about some of the offensive calls, specifically the RPO at the end, and even not kneeing it out. He's a good dude, but yeah, it was. You're right. It just made too hard. But the last play we had to go through was an onside kick, and RSJ made a huge play. I mean, that was a great kick, and RSJ showed why he's on the hands team. And hopefully we see more of that in terms of, like, him getting more interceptions too. And he has had a bunch of opportunities to drop picks this year in particular, but
he's had his
he snagged it out the air, and that was big. And obviously Ivan carry on, finished it out too. But RSJ's in particular was pretty dope. 918 stand up, right, Trav?
You know it.
When they stand up, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, ultimately we got dubbed. It was huge. I mean, celebrating after was dope. Like I said, like Trav said, we're at Maple Hall, enjoying some time there. Him and Tyler were doing a radio show. A lot of people showed up. We had a good time, and we all got back home safely. I went to Buc-ee's for the first time after that.
Changed your life, didn't it?
It did. Like, I hate speaking like that, like being so dramatic, but I wasn't expecting. Like, I had heard so much, I just wasn't expecting it to be like that. And I had a brisket and egg taco, and I was like,
yeah. But those breakfast tacos go so hard, dog. They're so good.
They were fire. And then I had some beef jerky. That's the best beef jerky I've ever had. And I don't know. It's crazy. But really quick, because I know we're at an hour and we're gonna go soon. I just want to hear from both of you, and we can we got another week, right? We got bye week. Probably gonna have Ty on next week since obviously it's been. But what is your guys' reaction to the initial ranking? Us being 12 now, everybody was tripping about Texas being behind us in the AP poll. The college football playoff decided that they felt like head to head was the metric they want to go with, and they put Texas above us. The big kicker is that a lot of people don't think Notre Dame should be above either of us. But give me your guys' thoughts real quick.
I think it's fair. It was a good spot. I mean, I can complain about Notre Dame being as high as they are with Miami being disrespected and where they're at. I mean, the argument for Notre Dame is they lost to Miami and Texas A&M by a combined 4 points. Cool. They haven't beat anybody else, though, if you really think about it. And Miami's losses is to Louisville, right? And SMU, who's what, 6-3?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad either, but they get dropped down. Texas losses to an unranked Florida, who's probably going to continue to drop down unless they decide they want to be a good Samaritan and beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss, because Ole Miss is due one really bad loss. They could do us all a favor by doing that, but yeah, it's the first ones. To me, it don't really matter. It'll matter in 3 weeks. When I care.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of football left to play. Oklahoma's got its opportunities in front. I don't think anything changed. I think I think we've all known that a 10-2 Oklahoma is in the playoff, and a 9-3 Oklahoma needs a lot of help. And I don't think anything from last night's poll changes that. Notre Dame cannot improve their position. They have 3 unranked teams left on the schedule. Like they can't. Texas Tech doesn't have any ranked teams left on the schedule. If they lose to undefeated BYU, they're going to drop below us probably. Like Texas has the number 5 team and the number 3 team on the schedule. If they win one of those and lose 2, they're 9-3. They might have a better chance of making it in 9-3 than we do, even with that trash ass loss to Florida. So win out, you can get in. 9-3, you can get in, but you need help. Like you would need to lose close to Bama and then win your last 2 games convincingly with style points. And you would need help. You would need Tennessee and Michigan to keep winning. Tennessee has a bye, and then New Mexico State, and then Florida, and then Vandy. So you need Tennessee to beat Florida because it makes Texas's loss worse, and it makes your win better. And then you need the next week Vanderbilt to lose to Tennessee, so Tennessee ranks even higher, and Vanderbilt might be knocked out of the rankings. So you would be stripping Texas of a ranked win while bolstering a ranked win of your own. You need Michigan to keep winning. They've got Maryland and somebody else that's unranked. And then, Northwestern and Maryland. And then they finish with Ohio State, obviously.
Let's go Northwestern,
so
baby.
They're going to be ranked. There's no way that they're going to lose to Northwestern and Maryland. So shout out Jackson Sumlin. But it's like those little things, they matter. Like Ole Miss, I would love Ole Miss to keep winning because if Ole Miss beats Florida, it makes Florida look worse and worse. And Ole Miss beat us. Hey, Notre Dame shows you that bad losses basically are wins. So, if that's the case, you're still fine. My only annoyance is head to head, and I know that this is an unpopular take. Oklahoma, based on last night's results, Oklahoma would have been better off beating Texas and losing to a bottom feeder Auburn team. They would be ranked higher, which is crazy to me. But instead, Texas lost to the bottom feeder coachless SEC team, and it don't matter. Now, obviously, everything's going to make itself, let itself play out. But Oklahoma has 2 ranked wins, and their 2 losses are what's Ole Miss, number 8 right now? Number 6?
Yep.
6.
By 6, yeah, they're 6.
Yeah, 6.
6 and 11.
So their Oklahoma's 2 losses are both playoff level 6 and 11. Texas's 2 losses are 12 and NA. So I just don't like best wins. Okay, we got 2 ranked wins. They've got 2 ranked wins, 12 and 16. We've got 20 and 22 or whatever. I don't think those are
20, 25, yeah.
different enough to matter. So I think if you continue those trends, I think at the end the committee might say, hey, look, sure, Texas has the head-to-head, but man, look how bad that Florida loss is, and Oklahoma's worst loss is like basically a top 10 team. Like, so, but this is all Oklahoma needed. Everything's right in front of them. You've got Oregon who could fall out. They're fourth in the Big Ten right now. They're not propped up by a Penn State win that Penn State stinks now. So, you got Oregon, you've got Texas Tech, you've got Notre Dame, you've got Texas, you've got a lot of teams ahead of you that can fall out. And if you beat Bama, you're jumping up into like the top 8 or 9. Like, it's just simple as that. So on bye week, you're rooting. Yeah, not top 5, unfortunately, the 2 losses. But with Oklahoma, you've got to root against Oregon. So root for Iowa this week. They've got number 20 Iowa at Iowa. You're going to root, obviously, for Navy this weekend to beat Notre Dame. And you'll root for BYU to beat Texas Tech. And then, like I said, continuing, you want your losses and your wins to get better. And you want Texas's losses and wins to get worse. So those are our rooting instructions.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, be interesting to see what happens this weekend. It'll be nice to have a week off and we can just watch football without being stressed about it. Obviously, like you said, we want some people to lose and everything like that. But enjoy the weekend off. The boys probably are and will be. But yeah, well, Jay, I'm sorry. Did you say what your opinion was on the ranking? I didn't mean
I thought it was. Yeah, I think it's good. I kind of opened with it. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
just keep winning, baby. Just keep winning.
Keep winning. Just keep winning. But man, Jay, we appreciate you coming on, brother, as always. Always
appreciate y'all.
Time. And appreciate you guys for the way you support us and everything like that. Yes, let's all agree and pray for RMT's hammy that is better by next week. And Bama's bye week couldn't come at a better time. He gets 2 full weeks to try to get back right. But yeah, we'll be back here next Wednesday, preparing for Alabama, and let's make sure Alabama gets through this weekend too and unscathed, and that it's as big of a matchup as it can be. Maybe game day implications potentially, who knows? But without further ado, we'll see y'all next week. Boomer.
Sooner.